Hi, I'm Allison.
And I'm Taylor.
And we're the hosts of the Anxiety Chicks podcast, where we dive deep into the reality of anxiety, nutrition, and mental health.
Listen as we explore all things anxiety healing while keeping it real, including our own struggles with mental health.
We'll bring our expertise as healing professionals to the conversation while discussing the tools and strategies you need to heal the anxious mind.
Listen to the Anxiety Chicks on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Anxiety Chicks podcast. Today we're going to talk about something I personally know all too well. When the doctor says you're fine, but your anxiety still screams, well, what if they missed something? What if they're not fully checking everything? And so in today's episode, we're going to dive into a few things. Why medical reassurance stops working, how this cycle actually creates more anxiety instead of less anxiety, the real reason you don't trust the you're fine anymore, and most importantly, how to start trusting your body again, even when it's uncomfortable. If you're stuck in that loop of constantly checking, Googling, or second-guessing every clean test result that you receive, I've personally been there, and I get it, and this episode is for you. So let's get into it. So the first part I want to start with is what even is reassurance fatigue? So what is it exactly? Basically, it's when you've gone to the doctor or even multiple doctors again and again and again looking for peace of mind. And even though they give you the all clear, you can walk out, every test we've ran, it says you're fine, they look at you and they go, we just have nothing else we can do. By the looks of everything we've done, it's looking like it's just anxiety. But you walk out of there and you're still anxious. And maybe it used to help. Maybe you used to get a test result, say you were worried about headaches and you got an MRI and they said your MRI was clear. And then you left that appointment and you were like, oh, what a relief. And suddenly your headaches went away, right? Like that's usually how it works in the beginning. You feel this huge sense of relief at first. However, now that comfort doesn't really stick anymore, and you end up thinking things like, well, they probably just didn't run the right test, or they're just trying to get me out of their office fast. They're just labeling me as anxious. They just think I'm a nutcase. They just think I'm crazy. All those things run through your head. You're not traumatic, first of all. You're not broken. You're not alone in this. I think this is a very universal feeling for anybody who struggles with anxiety, specifically health anxiety, because I have literally been there. I honestly miss the days back in the day when I first had anxiety, and I remember getting my first few test results when I was worried about something, and it's like instantly that thought or panic behind that sensation would go away. But then after a while, it's like, okay, wait, it's not working anymore. I remember after a while when that was happening, the second I would get home, I would be like, well, it's almost like I started to know too much. And so it's like, okay, if it wasn't this, then it's got to be this or something else that I saw on TikTok or social media, da-da-da-da-da. And the test result wouldn't make the thoughts go away. So you start thinking, well, what if it's something else this time? So then you get to the point of, why don't you believe the reassurance anymore? So let's kind of talk about why that happens. If I'm being real, it's not that we don't trust the doctor. Maybe we also don't trust the doctor after a while, but we don't trust ourselves. We've been burned before, maybe a past panic attack that came out of nowhere, or a weird symptom that no one could explain, and now our bodies feel like foreign territory. They feel unsafe, they feel suspicious. You felt like you were having a great day, and then you went to Target and you're suddenly having a panic attack in Target. And so your brain labels your body and your thoughts and your mind as danger, danger, unsafe. And so when the doctor says you're fine, our anxious brain doesn't say yay anymore. It says, but how do you know? How do you know I'm fine when I feel all these sensations, when I go and try and do all these things and I'm feeling all these symptoms that don't feel fine? I don't feel fine, right? And to make it even harder, if you're someone who's deeply in tune with your body, which a lot of us with health anxiety are, You're probably noticing things that doctors don't even see as concerning, but to you, it's a big deal because your nervous system is already in high alert mode. So I remember getting to the point of being able to literally feel, if I focus so hard on headaches, I could honestly feel like the blood flowing through every single vein and artery in my brain, in my head. And you might relate to what I'm saying right now. Like, we are so when we are struggling with health anxiety, we are so hyper vigilant and so in tune with our body, almost to a point of just unhealthy, truly an unhealthy in tune feeling with our bodies, that we can literally pick up on anything and we feel every single little change in our body, which a lot of times are normal changes that everybody feels, and they don't pick up on them because they're not so hypervigilant and their nervous system isn't dysregulated and in hypervigilant mode. So we've kind of discussed reassurance fatigue. So if you're entering that stage of reassurance fatigue where the tests and everything's not working, we kind of discussed like why we don't believe in reassurance after a while. And so now we want to talk about how to rebuild that internal trust. So what do? How do we start breaking the cycle of never feeling safe, even when we get the best possible news? That MRI that you were so scared of getting done, you get the test results back. They say, hey, it's all clear. You're perfectly healthy. Here's the honest truth. You can't heal health anxiety by chasing more reassurance. It's like pouring water into a cup with a hole in the bottom. You have to patch the hole. I'm going to repeat that again. You can't heal health anxiety by chasing more reassurance. It's like pouring water into a cup with a hole in the bottom. You have to patch the hole. And that means learning how to create internal reassurance. And we're going to discuss a few ways that we can do this and how I built internal reassurance within myself. So one of the first ones is pattern recognition. Start tracking your symptoms, not in an obsessive way, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, have I felt this before? Did it go away? What happened last time I was worried about this? Because patterns are powerful. So for me, something I used to really obsess over was heart palpitations, specifically the way I could feel a PVC that probably many people deal with. I felt it to the next level because I was so hypervigilant at the time that when I would feel a PVC in my body, it felt like somebody made me hold my breath, and then I finally let my breath go, and then I jumped off of a 33-store building, and then it was like a boom in my chest, like literally boom. And it was very, very uncomfortable, and I would hold my breath and not want to feel that feeling again because it felt so scary. It truly felt scary to me, and it was such a real sensation. So when I feel it again, which I actually did like last week, because hey, PVCs are normal in a structurally normal heart. Like my doctor always says, it's literally like a hiccup of your heart. We get hiccups all the time. And when we get hiccups, we don't overthink them. But when we get hiccups of our heart, we overthink them because it feels so foreign and it feels so weird. But I asked myself, have I felt this before? Yes. Did it go away? Yes. What happened last time I was worried about this? Well, I wasted a whole day being worried only for it to finally go away and the next day to feel better. So when you realize, wait, I've been through this exact cycle before and I'm still standing, there's a little thread of trust that gets built. Just even processing that. Like literally it sounds so silly, but processing that little checklist. The next thing you want to do is mantras that work. One I use all the time is discomfort does not mean danger. Back to the heart palpitation analogy. Yeah, they feel very scary and odd. Your chest literally jumps. You feel like your heart's doing back tucks and back handsprings in your chest. But this discomfort does not mean danger. Just because something feels scary doesn't mean it is scary. Your brain might scream, emergency, emergency, alert. but your body just needs rest or water or sleep or meditation or to slow down. I know for me, last week it was like, hey, you've had too much caffeine. And I'm like, yep, you're right, and I cut down the caffeine. And you know what? They got better. But the discomfort does not mean danger. And the discomfort kind of meant like, hey, you're a little stressed right now. You're going through some things. You need to slow down. The next thing I do is the 24-hour rule. And this one's huge. When I feel that panicked urge to immediately dial 911, immediately Google something, immediately rush to the doctor, I tell myself, okay, if I'm worried about this 24 hours later, I can take an action. 9 times out of 10 by the next day, I've already forgot about it, or it's gotten better on its own. You're not ignoring your body. You're just refusing to panic at the first sign of discomfort. It is so easy for us to immediately feel our heart race, or immediately get a headache, or immediately feel a little dizzy like we're on a boat and want to just rush to the hospital. But we have to not feed into those feelings, because when we feel those discomfort feelings and we praise them with, oh my gosh, body, you're so right. Thank you for telling me about this. I'm so glad I went to the hospital. I feel so much better now that I'm at the hospital. We are feeding the discomfort and we're feeding the anxiety. So that's just a really important one. Do the 24-hour rule. And something my doctor always told me that's always stuck with me is you won't have to guess if you're in an emergency. So if you're in an emergency situation, you won't be sitting in your bed wondering if you're in an emergency situation. So that's not ignoring your body by giving it the 24-hour rule. That's like more so when you feel like a little discomfort in your body or something you felt before that freaks you out, not feeding into it immediately. Now, if you're having like just all these symptoms and like you're clearly having an emergency, there's a time and place to call 911. The last thing I want to tell you guys about that I do is create a reassurance bank. So write down the times a doctor gave you good news and they were right. Write down the symptoms that resolved. I'm not kidding you guys. A lot of times we forget the things we've felt before. There are symptoms that I have felt years ago that I forgot that I felt before, and I'll feel them again and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what is this? And it's like, no, dude, you've been here before. You have felt this before. And that's why literally having it written down when you're going through it and watching it resolve, like say the next day or the next week, and being able to go back and look at that reassurance bank and seeing all the things you have felt and nothing ever came from it, it keeps receipts of your resilience, because your anxious brain loves to forget those moments. So let's remind it with a reassurance bank. I highly recommend you start that today if you haven't already. Now let's be real. Look, I know how scary it is to stop asking for constant reassurance. It feels like walking on a tightrope without a net, but the real safety you're looking for, it's not in the doctor's office, it's in you. In your track record, in your ability to feel a scary sensation and stay grounded, in your capacity to ride the wave without needing to diagnose every single ripple. Because there will be waves, and we will go through things, and we will feel discomfort in our bodies. But discomfort doesn't always mean danger. So let's wrap this up today. If you've been living in the loop of symptom equals fear equals doctor equals relief equals doubt equals repeat, just know there's a way out. And it doesn't involve one more scan or one more specialist that you know you're missing and you need to see, and they're going to be the ones who finally help the anxiety and finally make you stop worrying about your heart. It starts with choosing over and over again to listen to your wise voice, not your worried one. You've survived 100% of your spirals your anxiety has put you through. That's not luck. That's evidence. And you can trust that. So thank you for being here today. That's showing up for yourself. And if this episode resonated with you, send me a DM or share it with me how you know you're on this pattern of reassurance fatigue and you know it's not working anymore and you feel like you're losing hope, but you know you can stick to these 4 things I shared with you, which, let me repeat them again, are pattern recognition, mantras that work, the 24-hour rule, and creating a reassurance bank. That's my homework to you. You can trust yourself, I promise. You can. You're not alone in this, and remember that your body is not your enemy. It's your partner in healing, and I hope that you actually take those things and really make them your focus this week. Make them your goals, is to really try and work through discomfort, because discomfort is not danger. Thank you guys for being a part of this quick little 15-minute episode with me, and I hope that you know there's so much hope and healing available to you. Don't forget to check out all of our other episodes. We have so many good episodes coming up. And also, if there's a topic that you really want us to speak on, send us the topic. We will gladly do that. And don't forget to rate, review, follow us on social media. And I hope you have the best rest of your day and the best rest of your week. And sorry if I stumble over words sometimes. I get just so excited and passionate knowing that I've been there before and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode reminded you that you're not alone and healing is always possible.
If something we shared helped you, the best way to support the show is to leave a review or share this episode with a friend who needs it.
And make sure you're following us on Instagram at The Anxiety Chicks for more support between episodes.
We're just two chicks on our own healing journeys, cheering you on every step of the way.
Until next time.
Take a deep breath,